And I'm live on the World Wide Web trying to get a Wellness Wednesday video out to all of my subscribers. It's hysterical. No one has subscribed to this channel yet, and I'm talking about failure today. So I just think that is hysterical in itself. I'm back again. And I used to do these videos, like I said, on Facebook, and I've done group coaching and in-person coaching, but I'm wanting to get this information out there wider. I've subscribed myself to the Self Healers movement, left my safe, secure job working for the state government, and I'm bringing you some dope content in sweatpants because I work from home for myself. Anyone that tells you that they get dressed up when they work from home, they could be a liar. Although I do have colleagues that they do this. I've worked from home for the majority of my career, and I'm telling you, sweatpants and comfy clothes is where it's at. What are we talking about today? The thing that keeps coming to me is failure. And I work with a broad spectrum of individuals. So I have the individual client practice where I work with health coaching clients and then life coaching clients. And my clients are amazing. They all have reached their goals. And I've got people meeting extreme athletic goals, extreme business goals, career changing goals, living their best lives, going through hard stuff, processing through that, living their purpose. And a lot of the work that I do is within radical healing and for health. But there's a kind of a broad spectrum. And then I work with startups, business, government, self-funded employers on the business side of things, and help those companies reach their goals, as well as doing research and all of this. How did this come to be? Well, I have failed a lot in my life, in my career, and I've always been the one where I leaned into failure and used it as a teaching tool. I naturally arrived at that decision for myself. It wasn't a counseling tactic, but I was glad to know that when I became a trained counselor, that's a really good skill set to just have. So I don't know what that's about for me personally, but at one point I started to realize, oh, this is where I'm learning the most from, is from these things that I'm not succeeding at. And I try to make it my purpose in life to only fail at something one time and to learn from that and not to repeat that same mistake. The other thing that I've learned as I've dug into the research a little bit more and failure is that failure is nonsense, because we're setting ourselves up for this arbitrary point in our life where if I reach this point, then I will be successful. And we don't know what life's going to throw at us. And we set ourselves up sometimes to succeed. Well, I'm only going to be happy if I lose the 20 pounds. Well, what about that journey to losing the 20 pounds? And what happens if you only lose 17 pounds? Are you not worthy of love? Have you not moved towards that goal? Why 20 pounds? Just because it was a round number? What are these arbitrary numbers that we're putting out there for ourselves? They don't mean anything. And once you start to know that the goals that you're setting don't mean anything, I had a very wise person say to me a couple weeks ago, like, why are you even setting goals? Why set goals? What's the point with that? And I investigated that a little further. I'm like, what is that? As a person who is a trained professional to help people set their goals, I'm trying to get individuals to understand that any progress towards a goal is a success. Just showing up, that is a success. What holds us back most often is the fear of failure, the fear of other people's criticism, our own criticism of not reaching this arbitrary goal. And so we from the get-go are kind of setting ourselves up to not succeed by the stories that we are telling ourselves. We're telling ourselves the story to fill in the gaps, and the story was never real. Uh, and on all different levels, I'm processing through this with individuals and with businesses. With businesses, it's the same thing as how did you even arrive at that decision? Well, I didn't reach this point. Well, how did you arrive at that decision anyways? I just listened to a podcast on this. Um, who is involved in the decision making? Um, how did they arrive at their career, and to make this decision, what went into that? What was the root of where you arrived at that? And that's what I do just naturally working with clients is how did you arrive to that? Okay. A lot of times people come to me and they say, I want to lose weight or I want a new job. And it's like, what is really going on here? Oh, you want more energy. You want to lose weight because you want to feel more, you want to have more vitality and you want to have more energy. Okay. So maybe leaning in more to that. I want a new career because I hate my job. Okay. Dig into that a little bit more. A lot of times it's just the fear of um, the unknown. And the fear is mostly false. It's again more stories that we tell ourselves. And the thing with fear is the more that you lean into it, the more that you show up to life and dance and wrestle with the good and the bad. Uh, it's not scary anymore because you know that you can handle anything. And people that have overcome a lot of adversity in their life, they will tell you this. It's nothing, they're unflappable because they've been through it and they know that nothing's hard. And you can extrapolate that even further to the other areas of your life. It's a transferable. Failure is a transferable skill where if you fail at one thing, then it makes it easier to fail at another. And why do we want to fail? Well, you want to fail because it provides you information. It's feedback. It's your life PhD in what do you need to do for things to move you forward. A lot of times, what happens is people don't want to get the criticism from the peanut gallery, social media, others. And what I'm going to tell you might shake you to your core. But as a counselor, I know that the feedback that individuals give to us are their projections as to their own fear, their fear of themselves, and how they would arrive at that goal. When, I had people in my life when I decided to go back to school at a later age, when's too late? Never. Spoiler alert, never. Um, say, why are you doing that? And it had nothing to do with me. It was none of my business what they were saying, had nothing to do with me. It did tell me where they were at. They were telling themselves that they wouldn't go back to school at a later stage in their life. So once you start to know that, it starts to be a little bit freeing. We're all just out here talking to ourselves. Everything, we're kind of mirroring each other. And I'm mirroring you. This is what the people in my community and in my network are saying. So I'm giving it back to you. And I'm a mirror and reflecting what society is saying and what they're thinking. That is my role to be able to kind of break it down the habits that we're doing and giving to one another. So when you know that most individuals are projecting and they're just basically talking to yourself, what do? You start to realize it's not even about you. So you can thank them. Thank you for this feedback. This goal is important to me. I'm going to move forward. I love Brene Brown, all of her work. Spoiler alert, I love all of her work. But I love the concept of if you're not in the arena, getting your ass kicked just like I am, your feedback is irrelevant. And that's how I live my life because I've put myself out there on a really public platform. I've told my personal, health story over and over again. And there's things that people say to me, and at first it hurt my feelings, and then I don't care. I don't care anymore because I know where they're at. Because what they're saying to me is they're telling me where they're at with this, and that actually helps me feel closer to individuals by knowing what they're saying to me as a representative of what they would say to themselves. And that just tells me that we're kind of all in this together and we're all connected and we're all fearful of the unknown. And that's okay. And that's how we can lift each other up and build each other up. And when you do fail or someone fails, you can share your story like, hey, I tried this thing once and it didn't work out for me. And here are the things that I learned. You never know what someone else can resonate with someone else. But the thing is that you have to show up and you have to try and you have to wake up every day and make a choice how to engage the world and go for the things that you want to go for with possibly failing. The only time someone does succeed at something is because they failed over and over and over and over again. And the most successful people will tell you that they have the same story of failing often, leaning into fear, embracing it, learning from it, and knowing that that's life's PhD process is failure. And on the other side of failure and the feedback and the life lessons and leaning into fear and looking at it and dancing with it and tangoing, with all the yuck and the bad and the dark is freedom. It's true freedom because you realize that you were wrong in the first place. You had no business setting this arbitrary goal, and you can do incredible things. You are doing incredible things. And the point is just to show up and try. That's the whole point. That's my little Wednesday wellness video on failure as feedback. Redefine it. Don't be scared of it. Lean into it. If someone's telling you you can't do it or trying to hold you back, they're talking to themselves. Unsubscribe from what they're saying. Move forward, change your inner dialogue, and you may have to change who you're surrounded by. You are the summation of the individuals that are around you. A video on this later, but if most of the people that are in your corner aren't with you, that's not a good scenario. So you may have to change the corner that you're standing in. Okay, guys, have a wonderful Wednesday. I'm out.